I'll be seated. Thank you very much. My name is Christopher Shelley. I'm a New York State wedding officiant and life cycle celebrant, which means it's actually my job to hold the veils. It's my job to celebrate things and people. It's my honor to be officiating this wedding this evening. We're so happy that so many of you could make it here tonight. It is very important to celebrate these happy transitions in our lives. One of my favorite things about weddings is learning how far people are willing to travel to be here. We have honored friends and family here from around the world, including New Jersey, New York, Connecticut, Maryland, Washington, D.C., Massachusetts, New Hampshire, Pennsylvania, Ohio, Indiana, Illinois, Kentucky, Michigan, Georgia, Florida, Minnesota, Colorado, California. Have I left anybody out? Welcome to all of you. It's pretty amazing. We would like to acknowledge the spiritual presence of some very important people. Molly's grandfather, Toge Clark, her great-grandparents, Frank and Tilly Mento, Andrew's grandparents, William and Rose Plant and Thomas Mundo, his aunts Jackie Plant and Teresa Sickeles, and his uncle Dennis McEnany. It has been said that those we love don't go away. They walk beside us every day, unseen, unheard, but always near, still loved, still missed, and very dear. They are here with us. We can be very comforted to know that they're very happy to see Andrew and Molly getting married. But tonight we celebrate Molly and Andrew. We'll find out how a little girl from Hudson, Ohio, and a young man from Long Island, New York, grew up and found each other in Indiana. This is their love story. Back in November of 2009, at Indiana University, some of Andrew's friends told him they were going out to a karaoke bar. Andrew was not going to go until they told him that Molly Clark was going to be there celebrating her birthday. Andrew had seen Molly on Facebook and thought she was absolutely beautiful. He really wanted to meet Molly and was willing to do anything to meet her, even if that meant singing off-key to the Backstreet Boys. Now, normally, Andrew is very shy when it comes to meeting people, but for some reason, he had all kinds of courage that night. We may never know where he found that courage or whether it was brewed in America, but in any case, he sat down directly across from Molly and started talking. Whatever it was he said, it was the right thing. Molly fell in love with Andrew the moment she saw him. They had an instant connection. Andrew felt it too. He remembers how beautiful she was, how easy she was to talk to. And he was so moved, he hopped up on stage and sang another song, even though nobody had asked him to. When he came back, he found a square napkin, and he made an origami penguin for Molly. He learned how to make origami penguins in the 3rd grade, and he had no idea that this skill would play such an important role in his life. A week later, they were at another party together. Molly pulled the origami penguin out of her wallet and showed it to him, a big smile on her face. Only a month later, Andrew moved to New York to sing karaoke professionally. In March of 2010, they were down in Key West for spring break, surrounded by all of their best friends, many of whom Andrew hadn't seen since the previous December, and yet they spent the entire week as if nobody else was there. All they wanted to do was be together. By June, they were an official item, but that first year was not easy, as Molly was in Ohio and Andrew was in New York. Together, they overcame that obstacle, mostly by having Molly move to New York. They made it work. They made it work because of the intense love they have for each other. Molly loves Andrew's determination and that he strives to be the best man he can be. She loves that he is hardworking and smart. In her eyes, he can never fail. Andrew loves that Molly always pushes him outside his comfort zone, getting him to try new things he never would. He loves that she was willing to take the risk of moving to New York to be with him, even though she knew nobody in New York. That move was the single most significant decision in their relationship. He says that her beauty is just icing on the cake. You're doing lovely work with that. No, it's really exciting. YouTube's gonna love it. In February of 2015, in New York, during a blizzard, Andrew took Molly for a walk into Central Park. They took a few wrong turns in the snow and wiped out a few times, but they got up each time, continuing on through the tough conditions, just like you do in a good relationship. They found their way to Strawberry Fields, the perfect place to talk about forever. Andrew got down on one knee, gave her another origami penguin, and asked her to marry him. Molly said yes, because it's always a good idea to say yes to a man who gives you multiple origami. Right now, Molly and Andrew are standing only a few feet from each other, maybe 1 foot from each other. They have spent so much time apart from each other in different states, different cities, working to find ways to be together between New York and Ohio, between Manhattan and Long Island. They've learned a lot about themselves and about each other. They have earned the right to be standing here in front of their friends and family, in front of so many people who are so important to them, together. Together is a beautiful goal. Together is a wonderful reward. They always knew they would be together. They're getting married for all the best reasons, all the right reasons. In their hearts, they are married already, but let's make it official. Andrew and Molly, I have a few questions for you, just to clarify what it is we're doing today. The answer we'd all love to hear in response to each question is, I do. Okay, Andrew, do you want to marry Molly?
I do.
Okay. Do you promise to be Molly's faithful husband, to love her and honor her as long as you both shall live?
I do.
Do you promise to treat her as your best friend and your most cherished companion?
I do.
Do you promise to be yourself with her at all times, to be honest with her, to listen to her, and to share with her your deepest thoughts and feelings?
I do.
Molly, do you want to marry Andrew?
Yes, I do.
Andrew Mundo.
I do.
You can't be too careful. Do you promise to be Andrew's faithful wife, to love him and honor him as long as you both shall live?
I do.
Do you promise to treat him as your best friend and your most cherished companion?
I already do.
Do you promise to be yourself with him at all times, to be honest with him, to listen to him, and to share with him your deepest thoughts and feelings?
I do.
Wonderful. Andrew and Molly will now exchange wedding rings. Wedding rings are a symbol of commitment and love. They represent what has been and what will always be. Couples wear their wedding rings as a magic talisman that will remind them of this day every day. Who has the rings?
I hope.
Please place the ring on the tip of Molly's ring finger and repeat after me. Molly,
Molly,
I love you.
I love you.
My heart is in this ring.
My heart is in this ring.
I am yours completely.
I am yours completely.
I promise to be your faithful husband,
I promise to be your faithful husband,
to love you in sickness and in health,
to love you in sickness and in health,
in life and beyond.
in life and beyond.
When you look at this ring,
When you look at this ring,
remember that I love you always.
remember that I love you always.
You have the ring.
This one goes to her.
Please place the ring on the tip of Andrew's ring finger and repeat after me. Andrew,
Andrew,
thank you for my beautiful ring.
thank you for my beautiful ring.
I love you.
I love you.
My heart is in this ring.
My heart is in this ring.
I am yours completely.
I am yours completely.
I promise to be your faithful wife,
I promise to be your faithful wife,
to love you in sickness and in health,
to love you in sickness and health,
in life and beyond.
in life and beyond.
When you look at this ring,
When you look at this ring,
remember that I love you always.
remember that I love you always.
The big debate in their home is over who their dog Kilroy loves more. Only Kilroy knows, and she's not talking. Kilroy is named after the main bar at Indiana University, where they have courage on tap. Andrew and Molly, tonight you are going to be in demand. Everyone is going to want to talk to you and congratulate you. All around you, people will be dancing in ways that you can never unsee. Many couples report remembering how fleeting their wedding day was, so I encourage you now to take in every detail of this moment. The feeling of each other's hands, the temperature of the air, every single sound you hear, me telling you this. Hold all the happiness you're feeling in your hearts and your minds so you will remember it forever. And now, for pleasing symmetry, think back to the very moment you met. It has been my honor to officiate your ceremony this evening, and now I get to say something you've been looking forward to hearing for a very long time. By the powers vested in me by the super-duper state of New York, I now pronounce you husband and wife. You may kiss your bride, sir.